So let's get this out of Revit and into Flow Design. And Flow Design doesn't give you the option of choosing where the wind comes from. It just gives you one vector, and then you can rotate your file around so that you can actually show what the prevailing wind pattern would be. That's kind of the point of this. In Calgary, the prevailing wind tends to be out of the sort of west, northwest. So I'm just going to kind of remember that when I bring it into Flow Design. And what I've got here is just the sort of leftover from the solar radiation. That's fine. All I'm going to do is just do an export. So I go to the application menu in the upper left, and I go to export, and I need an FBX file format for this one. So I'll select FBX, and I'll just put this one on my desktop. This is going to be Flow Design Export Mass Option 1. Remember, you have to do this for each of your 3 different masses. So I'll have 3 different FBX files, and I'm going to click Save. This is going to give me my main building, of course, then it's going to give me these little neighboring kind of context buildings as well. Once I've done that, then I go into Flow Design itself. Maybe something I should point out here is that this login that you have current when you export out of Revit tends to be the one that it goes to when it opens up Flow Design. So if you're having a problem logging into Flow Design, I think we've got those all cleared up, but it'll be tied to your account. Just a heads up. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, and actually I'm going to turn this off and start new with a new file. So I will find Flow Design. And you just get the simple screen here when it starts up. This is how you know you've actually got the login. And all we're concerned with is the button at the top here that says local. It shows this little kind of disk icon. Click on that. Locate your FBX file. And there's my Flow Design Export Mass Option 1. I click Open. Now, you're going to see the analysis taking place right away. The things that you need to be aware of are that it doesn't keep the same sort of Y value or Y axis as Revit does. So we have to do a rotate because we've got a set of buildings that are standing up on end. To fix that, I just have to click on the orientation button, and I'm going to rotate 90 degrees on the X axis. And you'll see that the buildings now look okay, but my wind plane is still vertical. So I just have to change side over here on the very right side here of my ribbon, turn it to top. Now you'll see that it's oriented horizontally, and I can just change where it intersects my building by clicking on this little node here and drag it up and down, and then when I release, it'll update, and as you can see, it's just sending the wind from this direction, and it's sending it through my file kind of from left to right. So if I wanted to see a different orientation, how the wind affects my building and my neighborhood, then I would just change the orientation of the model itself, which I can do by clicking on Orientation. And this would be a rotation on the Y angle. So if I needed to make this face the other direction, I would just enter 180, and there's the update. And just pull the plane down so that it's intersecting the buildings. Navigation is controlled by the view cube. So the same convention that we have in other Autodesk programs, I can rotate around a little bit. And the zoom works backwards for some reason. If you want to zoom in, your scroll wheel works, but in the opposite direction than it would in other programs. And all I want out of this is just a screen capture. There's no export function. So when you've got your first view ready, then just use a tool like the Windows snipping tool, and just give me a screen capture of that. Save it, and then rotate around to the other side, kind of like what we did with solar radiation, so I can see maybe like a southeast and a northwest view. So 2 of these screen captures per mass, so that I get a total of 6 images. And then just include that in the final PDF.